Hi guys, welcome back to Transits and Tactics. And this week is so exciting, and I already feel the energy of this week. And I was preparing for this recording today, and I was kind of laughing quietly because every week since we started, we show up, and I start saying, "Slow down." This is what I see: slow down to accelerate, slow down. And I'm thinking about this transit now, which is in gate 53, which is the gate of new beginnings. And this is in my understanding and what I'm researching, it's all about new cycles. It's all about starting new things. But also it's about, unraveling something that might have been stuck. So you get like a second chance to start things. This is a good starting energy. However, there's a big, big but. To start something that has potential to grow. You can't rush into it. You can't push. You can't just go initiate, and put too much energy in this new beginning. And I think that this is what this transit is teaching us, is to slow down, consider, tune in. And this is why human design experiment is so beautiful.
Mm.
It's not, you don't have to live by it, guys. You don't have to, but trust me, because I try. It's worth it. It's worth to tune in and see how your inner guidance or your authority speaks to you. And if you don't have an inner guidance, if you're a mental projector, if you're a reflector, just watching how, talking at others or waiting through the lunar cycle, how it works, because it's just life changing. The mind will never shut up in a way. So we always, every one of us, no matter how aligned we're trying to be, we're always dealing with this chatter in our head. And the chatter says, push, you need to do more. Oh, here's what you can do. This is this week's. Oh, it's new beginnings, right? This is a gate sitting in the root center. The root center is like what's pumping the adrenaline, like, let's do it. It's this kind of like, oh yes, pressure point, right? So let's do it. Oh, you know what else we can do? This. Oh, you know what else we can do? This. And there's two ways it can, where it's rooted. I'm going to use the same word. It can be rooted in scarcity mindset. This is what I see. That's where the danger is. Sometimes you can say, oh my God, I have no clients. I need to get more clients. And summertime is for coaching business. Not many people actually sign up, I find. I usually focus on my visibility activities. I mean, there are clients, but it's just not as, people kind of relax in the summer. So you're kind of saying to yourself, oh my God, what's going on? There's no there's no growth. What can I do? And you start jumping into these things that you could be doing. There is a bit of an excitement that this transit and this gate is giving us. But is it the right way to enter this project when you're coming from this, scarcity mindset where it's like, I don't have luck mindset. I don't have clients. I don't have this, so maybe I can do this. And that's not what this energy is about. This energy is about starting the new cycles, and how you enter it is very, very important. That you enter it with your inner guidance, that you enter it from a place that really is the place of creative space, or something that can be developed slowly over time. So this is not, and sometimes when you start something, you have started exercise routines, I'm sure you started diets, you started things in your life when you went all in the beginning, and it just got exhausted. And that is exactly what this transit is teaching us not to do. Slowly does it. Last week, we were talking about this visual of a seed breaking through, and it was the gate of provocation, it was about blocks and pushing through these blocks, and then having this breakthrough on the other side. And so this is now, this start, this beginning has begun. However, the seed, the plant takes time to become strong, takes time. It's gradual. It's not like boom, and all of a sudden we are ready for harvest. No. So keep that in mind. This is really important. And then we have also Earth in gate 54, which is the gate of ambition. And that fuels this new start. So again, you might want to rush into things. You might want to get, enter things quicker. Again, just remember, just think about, where you're coming from when you're starting this new project. And the other thing is, on the other side of gate 53, we have gate 42. So if you have that in your design, then the channel is formed. Anita, what is the channel called? I forgot. Do you
I'm not
remember?
sure. The
Yeah,
channel,
yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah. Okay, we will come back to you with the channel. This is the thing, I don't actually, this is very transparent because I'm not a human design reader. I don't remember things off the top of my head. Plus I have non-existent memory. But 42 is the gate that in this time, if you have it in your design, this channel will help you actually get stuck into something, and and you will feel really good with this new starts, and it's a genuine kind of energy. So there is a bit of a support, in your own design, energetic support for this new beginnings. Again, check in that you're not starting anything from the lack or scarcity mindset or just rushing into things. But this is a really, really good energy to have. So congratulations. Sometimes we say about this other harmonic gate, and it could instigate something like extreme or not really nice. But this is a really good energy. So check in with your chart. Anita, how are you feeling during this transit? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I actually have this energy myself as well. So, and I think it's a great energy. But for me, with ideas and everything as well, it might be, oh, I need to start this, I need to start that. And I leave a trail of destruction of unfinished things behind me. So it's an energy that you're growing gradually, as you said, rather than growing unfinished business, right? So you just need to be
Mm-hmm.
careful. But the big thing that I wanted to bring to today was giving this whole theme a context with Pluto at the moment. Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008, and it's now moving out. We're literally in the last 6 months of Pluto being in Capricorn. It'll be into Aquarius by November. But what it has done, it was challenged the systems, it challenged top-down authority with respect to how the world lived. Now, the root center is tribal. So, how we learned in religion, how we learned in business, how we learned in banking, how we learned, the systems that supported us. And what have we seen, right? In Pluto or in the Capricorn, we've seen it started in 2008 with an economic crisis. We moved
Mm,
into business crisis, banking crisis, realtor crisis, even a global, and it is global health crisis with COVID. And now we're in a political crisis. Let's face
mm,
it, like there's a lot of countries that are on the verge of going back to that top-down authority rather than where we're moving, which is into Aquarius, which is by the people for the people.
yeah.
But that also means that this Cancer energy has got a huge clear out. So on a personal level, this is about work-life balance. This is about stop slaving for others and running around like a headless chicken for your job, for your family, for your tribe, and start defining your priorities based on your inner guidance and your decision strategy, right? So with this 53, 54, managing each other, it's actually 54 is ambition, but it's spiritual ambition. It's soul growth. It's a drive to want to grow as a human. It's a natural drive for us. So to me, it's how spirit, the starting, how I bring my soul desire into reality. How I create in my life in ways that really nurture me rather than constantly kowtowing to family, to community. So we're creating a community, moving from top-down authority in a community into the community that's inclusive and diverse and allowing. So even, it's 250 years since Pluto was in Capricorn and cleaning out Cancer. So that was the Declaration of Independence in America. So that was the storming of the Bastille in France, where they overturned the royalty, gave the people more power. And so, of course, today, 2024, it's claiming the power of our own inner authority. So this is a fabulous gate. And as Juliet said, you plant the acorn seed and it grows into this massive tree over time. It is the continual growing of your assets, and it's growing, you building on what's worked in the past, and the biggest asset or the biggest issue here can be that I've tried it before, it failed. And
Mm,
fear of failure might stop you from trying something new. And it's time to, or the other side would be, continually starting everything but not reaping the rewards. You keep starting things without reaping the rewards. So learning how to sit with your idea and trust in the natural timing, your inner decision, and developing that lovely energy that's available to us this week of what did work in your past failures. I was a scientist for the first 20 years of my life. Scientist is trial and error. Medicine is trial and error. There was a lot of people who might have died on the table knowing that they were trying out this surgery or trying to perfect it. So realizing that when you're in that state of open curiosity and willing to build on what's worked in the past, you're building a solid foundation
It's
of
so
what you're
true.
going to create next. So sorry, I went on a bit with that, but
No,
it's
that's perfect. That is absolutely
context is
perfect.
work-life balance. How am I bringing myself to my business? Because if I'm stressed out, my business will be stressed
Oh
out.
yeah. Oh
If
yeah.
I'm in balance, now my business is a game. It's actually a strategy, a strategic way of expressing myself and growing myself as well as my business. It's very cool.
That is so true. And by the way, there's something that you mentioned, and you said it's about, bringing it back to yourself. Like, stop giving it like, oh, I'm for the family, I'm on the job, slaving for. You have to be very careful. Not you, you, Anita, but we have to be very careful when we're thinking about what this actually means, because it doesn't mean quit your job. It doesn't mean, leave your family. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about you focusing on what matters to you within this environment. So if you're listening to this and you're not an entrepreneur and you're not, running your own business, that doesn't mean quit your job that you hate. That doesn't mean that. But finding what you are within your circumstances and just going back within and seeing what can you start. It's not about starting something that feels better, like the grass is always greener approach. No, this is not the right way to do things. It's all about just finding the satisfaction within this scenario that you're in first. Of course, for some, it will mean, starting something new completely and a business or something else like this. But I just want to say that because there's so many people just like giving up their jobs because they're sick of them going into business, but they don't realize that this is much harder, guys. This is the level of personal responsibility that, in a job, no matter how much pressure you have, you're still a little bit behind those who work for themselves. Trust me on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
important to
would say that
remember.
entrepreneurship is like personal development Olympics. It's
Oh,
like
yes.
you get pushed and pressed, all your
Mm,
fears get pressed. And that's why human design is so important. When you can build with this energy, and it's always knowing how you're designed to start things is
yeah.
huge. But there's another point here that I wanted to make actually, which is I found really interesting. When you have this energy defined, you're actually a natural starter.
Mm.
So for me, as a projector, not designed to initiate and a natural starter, it's interesting to see how I help others start. You
Oh,
know,
this is such a good conversation
yeah.
about this thing. I actually have to like I'm going to call out not you, Anita, but I'm going to call out the notion that projectors can't start things.
Oh
There's
yeah.
nothing to do with that. We can initiate some things, especially to do with us becoming available for others to invite us. Because this is the whole thing about invitations. It's not that we have to like wait for some invitation that comes out of a blue for us. No, we have to make ourselves available. We need to let people know what we're available for without initiating. So that means without dragging them and actually saying like, hey, I'm the best person for the job. That's not what making yourself available is. I was just thinking about, reverse 30 years ago. In 1996, I learned how to play guitar, and I had, just before that happened, one of the kind of prominent musicians here just met me on the gig or something, and he was saying, hey, Juliet, you're a great singer, but do you play guitar? I have this, vision for this three-piece, and the girl sings and she plays the guitar. And I was like, oh, no, I don't play guitar. And then somehow I bumped into someone who showed me a few chords, and I learned to play awkwardly a few chords, and I met this guy again, and I just said, hey, Gary, I can play guitar now. And it ended up in the invitation, and we played, paid gigs here around Tallinn in the end of 90s for 3 years, full on. It was like really, really good. It was an income source. It was great experience. Had a bluegrass of all things, bluegrass band that we formed. And I was thinking about it just yesterday about how do we make ourselves available? Not, I didn't grab onto him and say, hey, you mentioned this band. I want to be part of that band. That's initiation. I just said, I can play guitar now. Now he knows he can invite me.
Yeah,
So this is what this initiation, the new starts. It's about just reframing it. How do we make ourselves available as projectors, for
yeah.
example?
That's so important because this root center, you'll feel a pressure to start.
Yeah.
So you
Oh
need to
yeah.
be able to know how to work that pressure. But also with this gate, what I noticed, or with this energy, what I noticed with my clients is um, when you have that gate 53 defined on your chart, you're actually a natural project beginner, project initiator. I had a client who had the gate um, 53 and not 42. 42 is the finisher. 53 starts, 42 brings it to fruition. And they were in a project manager position and they hated it. They couldn't, and they couldn't understand why they hated it. And it was because they needed it to be in project startup, not project completion. And when they changed and realized, oh, I need to be in startup type of energy, they thrived. They thrived. It was the same engineer. It was just how they were designed to start things or initiate things was what made the difference between job satisfaction and hating their job. It
That's
was
it.
really
And a lot of
brilliant.
things in life are like this, actually. And this is where, so human design, it's when we say it's important, it's a personal, it's kind of a personal reflection, I think, because human design is not a set of rules that we have to live by, right? So for me, it's important. For Anita, it's important because we see the evidence in ourselves, in our clients, in our family members, anyone who walks through this door, that things can be aligned just by giving yourself permission to be who you are. And sometimes you are confused and you don't know, who you are. But then the human design gives you this, like, a definition of these are the energies that you naturally have, and you recognize them. It's not that they're new energy. It's not like we're told you are this and now you have to be that. No, it's usually like this. Oh my God, I have permission to be me. And this is
That's
exactly
yeah,
what you're saying. It's a permission to
yeah.
be you. And sometimes it takes a tiny little tweak. And it happened to me, and I've talked about it so many times. When it takes a little tweak in your, just the way you look at things, your perspective. And the moment that perspective changes, you get so much what I call cockiness. Nobody can argue with this now. And that's a good magnetic energy. And that's something that and by the way, I looked up the 4253 channel. It's a channel of maturation, channel of, another word for it is ripening. And really, it's about learning the whole process. So you mentioned like 43 is a finisher, 53 is a starter. So this is about a process. So this week, we also get like a mini experience, especially if you have the gate 42, but for everyone, we have an opportunity to learn something new about life, about business, about something. So keep your mind open, keep your eyes open. What are you learning here about these cycles? Because this is all about starting the cycles, understanding them, how to correctly enter them, what to look into. And my favorite this week is that this new start it's also about old things that maybe were stuck. So what I already see so many things that were just in a standstill for a very long time. This week they're unraveling so easily, no
Mm,
effort.
mm.
So that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And it is a natural cycle. There's a starting and an ending to everything. That forever, what is it, happily ever after
Yeah.
is a concept. This is like there's a start and a finish to everything. Don't hang on to it for longer than you need to. Let it go when you need to let it go. Start when you need to start. Finish when and respect those cycles, because what we do as humans is we hold on. We're afraid to break through the tribal energy or the tribal rules and regulations. And so learning that there is actually a natural cycle of starting and ending things. And for every ending, we don't have to worry about it. We know there's a new beginning coming. And,
I love
it's so
that.
fun. It's so fun to look at it in that way. And as you said, being yourself, with human design, what I found is it kind of gives me how I leverage my energy to stay in my prosperous flow. And the natural, so that person, that client that I had who felt that he was doing something wrong because he didn't like his job, instead realizing, oh, it's just not my flavor, it's just not my forte to do it that way, but it is to do it this way. He stopped using making himself wrong. And he started saying, oh, I can master now. This is my way of doing it. It excites me. It inspires me. It put him into a whole new level of mastery of how he likes to bring what he brings to the table as an engineer, so it's really superb. It's just so good.
I love it. I love it. Guys, before we wrap up, I just want to also give you like a little warning. So this energy can also come with feeling trapped sometimes or bored with something you're in, like in a stagnant feeling you're stuck in this stagnant set ways and you want to start something or there is this problem with finishing. You want to kind of leave it incomplete as well. So this is actually a very good time to reach out for a mentor, for a coach. It is a really, really good time for that. So, and without like being like, without any shameless plugs, we're here for you, right? So if you need help, if you need guidance, either from Anita or myself, reach out to us, this week and starting a new cycle with guidance. This is maybe something that will start a new cycle, a new beginning that has this slow, steady growth process. That is what this transit is trying to teach us. Okay, guys, we will see you on the next Transits and Tactics episode. Bye.